Good morning from the street in Cannes. It's start of day 3, and I have an esteemed panel here to discuss what has been important in Cannes. One of the more interesting events I went to yesterday was a panel on a discussion on gamification, and the entire room participated in massive multiplayer thumb wrestling as a demonstration of what gamification can do and the impact can have on crowds, which was a very interesting event. Calle Sjoenell, what interesting part of Cannes did you see yesterday or over the last few days?
I think, to me, and I sort of, it was like a 2:30 in the morning revelation, is that I think the most interesting people actually work in advertising. Because I can't imagine that the banking convention of the world would have so much diversity and so much fun than this crowd of people coming to Cannes. So the people who come here, I think, is just actually the most remarkable thing.
Especially at 2:30 in the morning.
Especially at 2:30 in the morning.
Brandon Berger.
I think, so yesterday I was really lucky to be able to go to WPP's Stream event, which was on an island with 30 CMOs and 30 business leaders and 30 agency people. And I think one of the interesting things that I took out of it, it's a great event. They have really 15-minute presentations from everybody from Facebook to the CMO of Google to CEO of AOL. And the interesting thing was AOL talked about this idea of live, right? They have HuffPo, which was kind of a live platform, and thinking about how do they create live content all the time. And so what does that mean in the digital age? And we had a nice discussion about that. And then what's the role of brands creating live experiences within this live environment? So I think it'll be interesting to see where that nets out, but I do like the idea of kind of taking digital and making digital really truly live.
Okay, live digital.
Can I just add to that a bit? I think also, if you look at all the things that's like winning in film, it's actually, a lot of it is kind of live filmed experiments.
Yeah.
The Dove sketches, for example. I talked to the Anselmo in Brazil, and they did not know that they're going to get those reactions before they made it, because you couldn't before you actually.
So it was an experiment rather than something pre-planned.
And the client actually went into production without knowing what the outcome is going to be, which is, I think, is remarkable. Faith in the agency and faith in the idea.
Okay.
You could say Boy and His Atoms a bit of an experiment as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much. How do you know this? This little film, a little atom, is going to be great. No one knew, and it's 3 months of grueling work moving those little pieces.
Okay.
One by one.
Emily Hare from Contagious. We've got a lot of noise here, but hopefully we can still be heard.
So the thing, I was in a few seminars in the Palais yesterday, and the thing that just cropped up again and again in the Disney McGarry Bowen one, and Annie Leibovitz is mentioning it, and really came out in Google's seminar as well that Astrotello was speaking at, was storytelling and the power and importance of that, which is such an old thing to bang on about, but obviously still really, really important. Astrotello's point was that there's so much new technology, a bit like what we were saying just now about experimentation, that there's a lot of new technology, but you need kind of a creative take to put a story around that and build up some kind of interest. So there's no point in having a kind of technology for technology's sake. There has to be a kind of wider point of interest in it, and that's where the kind of creativity comes in to put the two things alongside.
I think it's a great point, because in the past we looked at TV as the kind of the storytelling medium, right, and the medium that created emotion. And what's interesting, if you look at our work now, there's emotion in digital ideas, right? There's emotion in whether it's the Google Hangouts we did for same-sex marriage, whether it's even just Scrabble Wi-Fi. All this content work and technology we're creating has a digital experience to it that allows people to be emotional.
So, in other words, technology turns to the background while storytelling is still important.
Yeah.
Storytelling goes to the fore and the technology goes to the background. So, crazy people are interesting. Live storytelling and putting technology in the back rather than in the foreground, which is, I think, a constant theme we've seen through this whole event, where no longer is it something that's neat because it's using technology. It's technology is really the means to tell a story or do something broader and a bigger idea. So thank you very much, esteemed panel.
Thanks,